Hello YouTubes, what is up? Welcome back to another video. It is your boy Strem, and we are here with an announcement. The IBA is back. I got a hair in my mouth. The IBA is back for Season 3, and today we are going to go over our draft analysis video. We have already drafted the team, obviously, and the draft league will start 1 week after today, uploading on Saturdays, as always, with our Week 1 battle against Gokey Gamer. Now, today we're going to go over a draft analysis. Before we do that, I will say, please remember to subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and leave a like on the video. It really helps the channel. Yeah, so we've already drafted our team. I'm stoked about this team. I think we had a lot of good picks, so without further ado, let's just get into it. First overall, so we actually had the 4th pick in the draft, but our first pick, we picked Landorus Therian form. Obviously, you know, super good Pokemon. It's a legendary, it's a ground flying typing, it's incredible, only weak to ice and water, although it is 4 times weak to ice. Everything else, it either resists or hits neutrally, which is very cool. Super utility like U-Turner, it can defog, it can stealth rock, it can be super offensive with the choice band set, you can throw a choice scarf on it. Obviously it gets intimidate, so it's great. Physical wall too, and can just help set up our team for a number of different things. Very stoked with this first pick. He's going to be, you know, sort of our captain. There is no Dynamaxing or Gigantamaxing this season, so this, you know, this is as close to a captain as we're going to get. Next up, we do have for our second pick Grimmsnarl. I'm sorry about the quality of the image. I couldn't really find a good PNG of Grimmsnarl. Dark Fairy type. Obviously, we've used Grimmsnarl before in Season 1. I felt like I had to pick him up this early because I didn't want to lose him. Obviously, he has that priority prankster ability with Thunder Waves and dual screens and a lot of things like Taunt. Dark Fairy is a great typing as well. It helps to get our Fairy type this early in the draft. We have a lot of plans for Grimmsnarl. He can help with speed control because spoiler alert, we don't have the fastest team in the world, but also he can put some of our offensive threats behind screens and then really kind of just go ham on everybody. So utility pick, debatably a little early, but Grimmsnarl is just so good on any team, and he's one of my favorite fairies in the game, so why not pick him up this early? And then next we drafted Buzzwole, the Ultra Beast. So he's a new returning Pokemon in Crown Tundra, obviously, with a lot of the legendaries and the Ultra Beasts. I've never used Buzzwole before, so I thought we'd give him a try. Super physically offensive and super physically defensive. So not the fastest thing in the world with only 79 speed, but the idea here is to get maybe him behind some screens and then just kind of go ham on everybody, like I just said. Gets a lot of good coverage moves, you know, Thunder Punch. He gets great stab and drain punch. He doesn't get U-turn, unfortunately, but he'll be a really strong offensive threat for our team. You know, great for steel types, etc. He is 4 times weak to flying, which kind of sucks, but I think he's going to be big behind screens. Obviously he's super jacked, so that helps too. And then next up we picked Moltres. So fire flying, so this is our second flying type, but doesn't share any weaknesses with Landorus except for water. Moltres is one of my favorite Pokemon. It is again a legendary. We have a lot of legendaries slash Ultra Beasts on this team, which is interesting. 4 times weak to Stealth Rock, obviously, but with the addition of heavy duty boots, you don't have to worry about that, which is really nice. Pretty fast, real great special attacker. Can also defog for us if we need to with the boots, and not too bad defenses or HP as well. Also gets U-turn. I found in previous draft leagues we never really had a great fire type. So Moltres, you know, being a 125 special attack can definitely put a lot of pressure on, you know, bulky grass or whatever have you. Fire flying isn't the greatest typing, but there's so many good flying type Pokemon returning in the Crown Tundra that I definitely wanted to pick up more than one. In this case, we do have 2, and Moltres is one of my favorite. So excited to see what it can do. Definitely a powerhouse, no doubt. And then pick 5, we picked Swampert, so another ground type. Water ground. Swampert is great defensive mon, great stealth rocker, can slap a number of items on it. Really weak to just grass, which is cool. And freeze dry, I guess, if the opponent has that. Shares a typing with Landorus, obviously, but Landorus is not weak to grass because of the flying typing. He pairs really well with Moltres here because, Moltres 4-time resists grass, Swampert 4-time super effective hits on grass. That didn't make any sense. I almost lost my mind there completely. But also, Swampert resists electric, or is immune to electric, resists rock, which Moltres takes a lot of damage to. So they pair each other really good in terms of weaknesses and strength. So I figured to pick them back to back was a smart move. So I'm excited about Swampert. Obviously, it's a home and starter. For those of you who like Mudkips, we got one. So excited to see what this thing can do for sure. And then we picked a Zelf. So we were kind of lacking in the offense and the speed category. Like I said, Moltres, not the fastest thing in the world. Landorus T, not either. Blizzle, not either. And Grimmsnarl, not. But a Zelf is very fast, of 115, I think, base speed, or 112 or something like that. Can be a physical or special attacker, which is really great. The exact same 125 stat in both. It's obviously really frail. So we're worried about like knockoffs and things like that, but it is a fast U-turner. It also gets stealth rock. It can do screens as well. It can be a suicide lead with explosion, or we can just pivot using U-turn, or we can go all out offense with specs or choice band or life orb. So there's really a lot of options with a Zelf. It's also a legendary Pokemon. I think that makes like 4 if you include Ultra Beast at this point, but I'm excited about his Zelf. I always liked the Lake Trio, and I never got to use one in draft before, or really at all. So excited what we can do with it. It gets a lot of good coverage too. It's definitely kind of our sweeper, our Lycanroc Dusk of last season, our Gengar sort of thing of last season. So we'll see what we can pull off with the Zelf here. And then at pick 7, so we picked up Glastrier. Somehow it was still there. I think a lot of people are skeptical on Glastrier, but at this point in the draft I had read a lot of really positive things about it. Obviously it's incredibly slow, and that's something that our team kind of suffers with. We don't have the greatest speed tiers, but this thing is super bulky, primarily a physically tank, but also has really great special defenses as well, and really good HP, as well as a physical attack stat. So this is pretty much like a buffed up ice type Mudsdale, so not the best defensive typing, obviously. Weak to fighting, steel, fire, rock, probably missing one, but so it does suffer from that, but it gets some pretty good coverage. It gets body press, it gets close combat, high horsepower, icicle crash, and I think heavy slam as well. So there's a lot of things we can do with Glastrier, and at pick 7 we were kind of like, we still had a lot of points remaining, and I felt like Glastrier was the best for our team. It's always good to have a great ice type, especially with so many flying types running around in this meta. And plus it's a new Pokemon. It's also a legendary, so I figured why not try to use it. I'm excited. A defensive ice type. We'll see how it goes. But its offenses are nothing to be messed with either. And then at pick 8, we picked up Decidueye. So another U-turner for us to pivot. Pretty specially defensive as well. It also got Poltergeist in the Isle of Armor update, which is really nice. A nice, quality of life change, so you don't have to use Spirit Shackle. It's also a defogger, which is really great for a grass type. To be a defogger is really cool. You can run it bulky, you can run it offensive, you can run it special. Actually, its special attack is not bad, although its physical attack is slightly better. It's another starter Pokemon, which is cool as well. I personally used Decidueye in my Sun and Moon playthrough. We needed a grass type, so now we have the Fire, Water, Grass core complete, which is really nice. We're still waiting on the Dragon and Fairy, or Dragon and Steel, but at this point in the draft, we completed the Fire, Water, Grass core, and I'm really happy with the 3 of them. This also gives us a Ghost type being, which is really great, and something we hadn't had yet. Really excited about Decidueye for sure, and again, just brings a lot of utility. So we have a lot of U-turners at this point in the draft. Decidueye, Zelf, Moltres, Landorus all get U-turn, so it's like we can either run Decidueye as a faster pivot or a slower pivot. Same with Landorus, so really cool so far, and I feel like we're getting a lot of utility. Next up, we drafted my boy Weezing. Again, sorry about the PNG quality here, but you guys know I love Weezing. He's one of my favorite Pokemon ever. The shiny coughing over my head. We needed a poison type. Weezing has Toxic Spikes, which is really good. 100% accuracy Toxic. It's a really great physical wall. I've seen it used a lot in Draft League very well. It might not be as good as its counterpart, the Galar form, but it definitely has its utility. And aside from Glastrier, we didn't have a sole physical wall that I want to run as a physical wall all the time. Like Buzzwole and Landers both have great defenses too, but we like the option to run them more offensively. It can act as a grounded poison if you change its ability, but it also is immune to ground, which is really great. It has Levitate. Landorus is also immune to ground. Moltres is immune to ground. Swampert resists it. Decidueye resists it. And Azelf is also immune to ground. So we have a lot of ground switch-ins on this team. We're pretty much nobody's weak to ground except, I don't think we have a single member on the team that's weak to ground, which is really great. Also, we get that T-Spikes, which is nice if we ever want to run that, more hazards. Just a physical tank, but I love Weezing, and I feel like I've wanted to use it as our poison type on the team for so long that I had to pick him up at pick 9. Next up, we picked Manectric. So this pick got sniped from me quite a bit. I originally wanted to go with Jolteon and then Boltund because, again, as you can see, this team is lacking speed quite a bit. So I wanted a fast pivot for an electric type. Like I said, Jolteon or Boltund. However, they got sniped when we were picking around 8 or 9. So it slid kind of down to Manectric. Obviously not the greatest Pokemon in the world. But it is quite fast, or at least for our team, it's one of the faster members. It's over 100 speed. Does get Volt Switch, does get Flamethrower for some coverage. It gets Switcheroo. It is a special attacker too, which we were kind of lacking in a certain extent. So I'm excited. I've never used Manectric before. It just fills the role that we need. It's not going to be the MVP of the team. As you can see, we're kind of running out of points at this point anyway. So I had to pick them up. There were some other slower electrics that were still there, like Vikavolt, and Luxray was there too, but he only has 70 speed, so I really just wanted that over 100 speed, and it does add something to the team. He also gets Volt Switch, so again, just another pivot mon that we added, which is really great. I find, and we can talk about this at the end, but I find that this team has a lot of utility. It's a very well-rounded team. It doesn't stick out as like a total offense team or a really stall team or anything like that, but a lot of these mons have a lot of utility and they're very versatile, like Landorus, and so I feel like we kind of hit the nail on the head in that sense. Although we don't see him as specialized, like last season we had the physical wall, the special wall, the physical sweeper, and the special sweeper, and it was just dedicated, and we did our thing every week, and we did very well. This team will be a little harder to predict what we'll be able to do, and is more well-rounded in my mind. That being said, with our last pick, we did pick up Duraludon. A little bit of a controversial pick, I think. I don't love Duraludon, if I'm being completely honest. He's weak to fighting and ground. He is a steel and dragon type. So this rounds out our fairy dragon steel core with Grimmsnarl and Duraludon. Just the two of them. So he's Steel Dragon, which is nice. We did really need a Steel type. And I don't think Dragon types are as necessary as people think they do in draft, but it's nice to get that Dragon typing as well. Very physically defensive, pitiful special defense, not great speed at 85 either, but he does get good coverage, and you can run it physically offensive or specially offensive. So again, just a versatile Pokemon, I think, that's hard to take down. You really do need ground or fighting to take this thing down. And again, you don't really know what set is coming at you with the Duraludon. It's also another Stealth Rocker, which is great. So we have a bunch of those on the team now too. And I'm excited to use it. I thought about dropping him. So after the draft, we get a 24-hour free agent period where we can pick up or drop any of the mons on our team as long as they're the same point value. And kind of we get the last chance to really round out our team before our picks start going. I thought about dropping him quite a bit. There were some other steel types on the board, like Steelix and stuff, but we already had so much physical bulk and everything that I just thought, Duraludon probably provides more to the team than Steelix. Plus, he gives us a dragon typing. So this is the squad. I feel really good about it. Like I said, we just kind of did the overview for whatever reason before I got to Duraludon, but I feel great about this team. I think it's a lot of new mons. It's a lot of mons I've never used before. They're not necessarily brand new. I think the only brand new mon is Glastrier, but a lot of mons that I've never really had the opportunity to use before, with the exception of Grimmsnarl. So I think, like I said, I think we picked a very well-rounded draft, me in the front office. So excited to see what we can do. Like I said, I don't want to reveal too much about our strategy, but I feel like our team is diverse enough that we're going to bring different things every week anyway. All I know is that I'm going to be using Grimmsnarl. Sometimes we can bring an offensive set, sometimes we can bring a specially offensive set, and then sometimes we can bring that Prankster utility set. It really just depends on our opponent, but those screens will come in handy. We don't have spikes or a rapid spinner, but we do have T-spikes, stealth rocks, and we have a plethora of defoggers. You know, like in Landorus, Moltres, Decidueye. I think that might be it. Oh, and a Zelf maybe? No, Zelf's a stealth rocker, but still we can kind of pick and choose our defogger week to week, which is really great. And then again, I think we have really good specially offensive and physically offensive mods too. So it's going to be interesting. Like I said, week 1 goes up 1 week after you're watching this. So Saturday, don't remember the exact day in my head, but that will be against Gokey Gamer, 10 a.m. Eastern. I'm very, very excited. I love the IBA. I love the guys. I'm pumped to come back for Season 3. So let's see how far we can get. We lost in the semifinals of Season 1, and that was a bummer. But if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to leave a like. This is going to be it from me. Check, double check, triple check if you are subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications, and we will see y'all in the next video. Love you very much. Peace.